Despite the frankly goofy number of fragrances I have, I still like to wear cheap fragrances all the time. And today I'm gonna be sharing with you guys some of those cheap scents that I still reach for, even though I own, there's a lot. Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope you're doing well. Everything I talk to you guys about is going to be linked down below. No particular order. We're going to kick off with this right here, just Kavali Wild Heart. So yeah, it's cheap. It's really cheap, and it looks cheap. And the cap is pretty crappy. Not because it's lightweight, even though it is, but because it has this like little sticker that goes around right here that just adds to the cheaposity. As I said though, at discounters, this stuff is inexpensive, very, very inexpensive, and it smells fantastic. Now the quality is good. It's actually a little similar to Spice Bomb, Viktor and Rolf Spice Bomb, kind of in that overall style, with like a really enticing, nice smelling, like stewed fruit sweetness. The only drawback here is the performance is not great. So this is one of those cheap fragrances where you're like, oh man, it smells awesome. Like there's nothing bad here. No other, what could go wrong? Oh, yeah. There are those little drawbacks from time to time. So that's what's going on with this one. It smells fantastic. The quality when you smell it is good. You know, it doesn't smell like things are out of place or rough around the edges, but you are gonna have to deal with some subpar performance, especially when you compare it to Spice Bomb, which is kind of strong. Still, just Kavali Wild Heart. This is one of those blind buys that I purchased, and I actually am glad I made the purchase, because a lot of times, like probably the majority of times, when you buy something that is way under the radar, stupid cheap from a fragrance house that's not exactly known for putting out bangers, you're playing with fire. So a lot of the times it just doesn't work out, but this one thankfully did, outside of the piss poor performance. After that one, a cheap scent that is amazing during spring, during summer, early fall, and it's gonna get you quite close, a very similar scent profile to a more pricey, more expensive aquatic scent that just about everybody on the planet knows about. This one is Aaro Chrome Extreme. And the fragrance that it smells similar to is, of course, Acqua di Gio's Profundo, which is kind of funny because the color scheme matches between the two bottles. Because when I bring up Acqua di Gio Profundo, I'm talking about the original bottling, not the new version, not the new eau de parfum. So Chrome Extreme, as I said, gonna give you that Acqua di Gio vibe. Fresh, aquatic, a little bit sweet, some green aspects in there as well, mandarin orange that is immediately attention grabbing the second you spray it on. Performance on this one is better than the just Kavali. It's not necessarily amazing, but it's better than the Kavali. It lasts longer, the projection is decent. I would say average in terms of projection, slightly above average in terms of longevity for this type of scent. And price point, under 30 bucks. You can pick this up from just about any discounter for around there, like 25 to 30 typically for a 50 mil. And then the 100 mil is not that much more. Big compliment puller, extremely versatile. I mean, realistically, you can wear this whenever you want. And yes, I do obviously wear Acqua di Gio Profundo. I've spoken about that a lot, but sometimes I do like to bust out the Aaro. This one, Chrome Pure and Chrome Aqua, probably some of my favorites in the Chrome lineup. Now I mentioned the pricing for that one at JOMASHOP, and really with any of these, you wanna be shopping at discounters. And if you do, I have codes across a bunch of discounters as you see on the screen now. So those discounters are JOMASHOP, Gift Express, Frag Flex, the Perfume Box, and many other stores there as well. So anytime you shop at those stores, use those codes, save yourself some money. The next one is really, 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 really cheap. It's Yope Wow Fresh. You can get this size bottle right here, which admittedly is pretty small, 1.3 ounces or 40 milliliters, for $15.99 as of this video. And if you go a little larger in size, the price doesn't jump up that much. It's really affordable. And it's another one that smells kind of similar to another fragrance. This one, To Aqua Fahrenheit by Christian Dior, which in case for some reason you're unaware of that fragrance, it is discontinued, has been discontinued for a long time actually. So you can pick this up for essentially nothing, at least as far as the hierarchy of fragrance prices are concerned, and have something that smells similar to a discontinued, much more expensive scent. I realize 20 bucks is not technically nothing, but when you look at a lot of these new fragrance prices, It's pretty affordable. Note-wise, this one has bergamot and violet leaf. That violet leaf is really what's gonna tie this in with aqua Fahrenheit. There's also geranium, lavender, and vanilla as well. So it's gonna be another one spring, summer centric, nice daytime or evening fragrance for when it's hotter outside. Do keep in mind though, it is not like a super sweet fragrance. So if that's what you're after, this one may not appeal to you quite as much. If you do enjoy some of the fragrances from yesteryear, check that out. Up next, a clone fragrance. It is Vulcan Fur. This one from French Avenue, and it's a clone of God of Fire, which I feel like it's only a matter of time before designer houses start coming out with something God of Fire-esque, right? I feel like it's gonna happen. I mean, I could be wrong, and maybe it has already happened and I'm just not aware, but I feel like it's a matter of time. You know how Aventus suddenly started to be proliferating across designer brands, that type of scent? I could see that happening with God of Fire also, because basically every single clone house has come out with their version. This one is extremely well done. It might be the best balanced one of them all in terms of the quality versus the price point. Because there are cheaper clones of God of Fire than this one. Then there are way more expensive clones of God of Fire than this one. This is kind of in the middle a little bit, closer toward the cheap end, but it's really well balanced in terms of the notes. The mango here is pronounced, but it doesn't take over the entire scent. You also have ginger in here, you've got lemon, you've got rhubarb, you have some floral notes, some sweet notes as it dries down. Just a really well done scent that just about anybody is going to enjoy. Also unisex, so keep that in mind. Now a cheapie that I love, it is Sculpture Parfum from the House of Nikos. Presentation, kind of interesting. You know, it looks like the original sculpture. Sometimes it's a little easy to knock over, so keep that in mind. If you're reaching for it on a shelf or reaching behind it, you might accidentally knock that down. But this stuff takes the original sculpture and ramps it up, and the price point stays very low. So there's nothing to hate here. At JOMASHOP, it's gonna run you mid-30s for this size full presentation, and then it goes down from there. Fragrance net, it's closer to 40. Don't pay any more than that. Like, I wouldn't go up to like 50, 60, 70 or anything. Not because it's not worth it in terms of smell. It's just, it's going to eventually come back in stock. And if you pay that much for it, like let's just say 60 bucks, and then 2 weeks later, you're looking around on JOMASHOP or something and you see it for 25 or 30, you're gonna be like, ah. I've done that before, complete with head smack and everything. That was a realistic reenactment right there. Gave myself a mini concussion. So in terms of notes, there's citrus in here, there's orange blossom, there's tonka, jasmine, benzoin, and amber. It's of course going to remind you of the original sculpture, only a little bit richer, smoother, higher end, and also going to remind you of Lafayette Street by Bond Number 9. So essentially you're getting a Lafayette Street style scent, same compliment factor, versatility as that one, only way more affordable and a really nice presentation style outside of the flimsiness of this getting knocked down. And it actually has really solid longevity to boot. So this isn't one of those cheapies that's gone in like 2 hours or anything. It's a great fragrance that you can wear pretty much whenever you want. From there, we move here. Farragamo Womo Signature. This has long been one of the best cheapies out there in terms of performance, in terms of quality, versus the amount you pay to pick the scent up. Performance, as I alluded to, strong with this one. It lasts a long time. It projects heavily. The bottle looks slick, in my opinion. Some people may think it's tacky. I think it's nice. You get roast coffee here, a good amount of it, along with tonka, leather, cinnamon, cardamom, and a touch of citrus. It's a surprisingly strong compliment puller. You may not think of it as one, but it works very well, especially in the air when it's cold outside. But because of the strength of the scent here, this is not something that you're gonna wanna wear if it's even remotely warm outside, and you need to be aware of the performance depending on where you're going and what you're doing so you don't choke people out. Up next, another clone. This one is a newer one from Rahan. It's Pacific Aura. Got a little magnetic cap, so you know I like that, but it's not the super fancy kind. This one's very basic, but you know, I'll take a basic magnetic cap. It's actually the only one here. Automatic +1 point. So this is Pacific Chill. Yeah, it's a clone of Pacific Chill. Really well done. Great performance. It's very green, bright, fresh, citric, and poppy. When you first spray it on, it grabs attention immediately. It is perfect for spring and summer. Not the type of fragrance that you have to reapply over and over again. And just such a huge improvement over Pacific. The original Pacific, look, it's fine for a cheapie, okay? But this one is like 5 tiers above that one. Absolutely killer. for your beach trips, vacations, anything like that. A cheap blue scent up next, Lom Roous. Whoop. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, that was pathetic. Come on, let's get some distance. Oh. This one is one of those like all-time cheap blues. You know, it's a blue fragrance that not many people know about. Talking about your average Joe, right? And at discounters, you can pick it up for basically nothing. At discounters, $18.99 for this size bottle, 2 ounces. And if you get the 100 ml size bottle, it's not that much more. Note-wise, you've got blood orange in here, along with pineapple, cardamom, juniper, geranium, tonka, and patchouli. It's kind of like K adjacent. So it doesn't smell the same as Dolce & Gabbana's K Eau de Toilette, but is adjacent to it. It's close enough. It's in the ballpark. So it could remind you a bit of that fragrance if you're very familiar with that one. And in actuality, between the two, I actually like the smell of this one more, even though it's way cheaper. So if you're looking for a versatile, great casual scent, blue fragrance with kind of an aromatic edge to it, check this stuff out. And kind of going along with that same idea, you know, a blue type fragrance, but with the twist that's really inexpensive. This one is that also. It is from Barbados and it is XX Artisan Teal. Pretty cool bottle. I like the look. I like the color of the glass. I like this kind of basket weave-esque design. And frankly, Barbados, most of their fragrances at discounters are cheap. Like the vast majority of them. Now, once they're discontinued and they fully sell out, that's a different story. At that point, you go to eBay and they're going for like $200-300. And then you're just like, wait a sec, man, this thing was like $30 a month ago. But that's kind of how it seems to go, at least with a number of the different fragrances that they put out. But yeah, a lot of them really, really, really cheap. This one is going to remind you a lot of YSL Y Eau de Toilette. So that same kind of like fresh meets sweet meets clean clothing hanging on a clothesline that Y does, this does that too. In terms of notes, you've got lemon in here along with rosemary, sea salt, driftwood, water lily, and musk. Not a super strong fragrance in terms of projection or longevity, but that's fine for me because this is the type of fragrance that, again, on the cheap, I'm just gonna grab, spray on kind of heavily when it's warm outside and just take off. You don't really need to overthink this one. Just spray it on as liberally as you want. Go about your day, it's gonna work. Just really appealing, big compliment puller, easy to wear. And last up, Tarathi Electric from Offnon. This is a newer one that I picked up. It's like 45 bucks right now as of this video. Well, 40 to 45, depending on where you're looking. And this one is a clone of Blue Talisman. Now, whereas Art of Universe takes a like louder approach to Blue Talisman, it's stronger. Art of Universe definitely is the one with more push between the two. That one can also come across a little bit too sugary sweet, a little too synthetic screechy, depending on how much you're wearing and where you're going. Like right now, today, it is crazy hot. So if I were gonna go out and wear a fragrance between the two, I'd rather wear this one. It's definitely more reined in. It's mellower, but it's smoother, a little more refined, a little more classy between the two. So if you want like the strongest Blue Talisman, you should get Art of Universe. That stuff will fill up a room. It'll get you noticed. And as long as you don't mind that sweeter path that one takes, if that one works better for you, that's the one you should rock with. This one is approaching the same fragrance, Blue Talisman, just in a different way. Like I said, a little more refined, a little more elegant, a little bit more mellowed out. Performance is average. In terms of projection longevity, this one is firmly average. And I actually like both a lot, Art of Universe and this one. It's just use them for different things, right? And I do want to have just one real quick special shout out bonus fragrance here. Philip Plein. Been a minute since I've talked about a Philip Plein No Limits. Now, of everything I've talked about here today, No Limits is probably going to appeal to the smallest amount of people. But I think it's really good in its own funky kind of way. Don't know if you noticed, but the atomizer is actually really good. A lot of times with built-in atomizers, they suck, but this one is solid. See that again. That's pretty good. Get away. So it's vaguely similar to Gucci Guilty Absolute. Not Absolute, Absolute. TE. But it has more of like a carbonated, sparkling sweetness to it. There's actually a good amount of notes for this fragrance. Check that out. A lot of things going on. But yeah, it's leathery, spicy, sweet, but it does have this underlying leathery, dark aspect that some people don't like. But I think it smells actually really nice. But it is absolutely the type of scent that I only bust out from time to time. Not really something I wear, you know, on the daily, just something I do enjoy, in spite of the whole cheesy aspect and the Philip Klein No Limits commercial, which if you've not seen that, you've gotta go watch it. As soon as this video is done, Philip Klein No Limits commercial. It's like the pinnacle of fragrance cheese, and I love it. Inject it into my veins. Philip Klein with fake money guns on a Lamborghini being held from a helicopter, and the chains are on fire, and for some reason there's just women everywhere with like bikinis on, and that's it. You got a terrible rapper who's just rapping about Philip Klein and how dope he is. It's friggin' awesome. It's so sick. So there we go, guys. There are some fragrances that even though I own all these, I'll still reach for these cheapies, and they make me just as happy as the mad expensive ones. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.